Hello, and welcome to Prepped and Ready. My name is Jenna Dykman, and I work for Utah State University Extension. I'm also a registered dietitian. In these videos, we will learn how to make prep in the kitchen a little bit easier. We'll talk about nutrition facts, when a produce item is in season, and give you either a prepping hack or a cooking hack. Let's get going. Today, our focus is onions, and I have a student joining me.
Hi, my name is Olivia Marble, and I'm a nutrition and dietetics student at Utah State University.
So we know that onions give a lot of flavor to our food, but are there any nutritional benefits?
Yes, so onions are high in antioxidants, which help reduce risk of cancer and heart disease.
Okay, very interesting. So I see a lot of onions in the store when I go, no matter what time of year it is. But is there a better time to buy onions?
Yes, so onions are typically in season from June to August, but they're a reasonable price year-round. They're a little bit cheaper when they are in season, but you can always buy them at any given time.
Okay, that's good to know. What about local? If we're buying onions local, are they?
Yeah, so it's better to buy them in the summer months, just like that when they're in season from June to August. You can go to a local farmer's market or just anywhere nearby that might have a farm of them, I guess.
Okay, very good. There's three main types of onions. We've got yellow, white, and red. Tell us more about when we can use the different types of onions for different recipes.
Yeah, so yellow is your most popular onion. That's the most common and most used in America. And it is kind of the most versatile. You can put it in any type of dish and it's good for caramelizing. Your white onion is a little bit sweeter than your yellow. Same thing, it's really versatile. You can use it raw in salads, on sandwiches, or in fresh salsas. And your red onion can have like a spicy to a mild flavor depending on which onion you get. And same thing, you can use it on sandwiches, in salads, or in a salsa, and it's also adding color to any dish that you put it in.
Great. So now that we know when the best time to use different onions is, let's try prepping them so we can see how to reduce our prep time for onions.
Deal. So to start out with, we have a round onion and we want to make it flat to make it easier to cut. So we're going to take the stem side and cut that side off. And then we'll flip it around and we're going to cut this root off, but not all the way off. We just want to cut the tips off, just keeping that root still intact. And then we'll cut it down the middle. So then we have our flat sides, and now we can just peel it. And one thing to know, after we're done peeling, you want to take off that top layer because that can be the toughest layer of the onion and we don't want that in our food.
All right, now that we know how best to cut an onion, we're gonna show you 3 different ways to prep the onion. So I'm gonna do what Olivia did, and I'm gonna cut off the stem side and the root side, and then cut that in half. And then I'm gonna show you how to best slice an onion. And I'm using a red onion because, like Olivia said, we are gonna use these for our salads or sandwiches. So you're gonna hold on to that onion and just slice it as thin as you can to get a really nice slice. If you wanna use a mandolin, that'll make it even easier and you can get probably an even thinner slice. But this is kind of what we're looking for. So then when you, your family, friends are biting into this in their salad or sandwich, it'll add flavor, but it won't be too strong when they bite into it. All right, next up we'll use our yellow onion for chopping and dicing. And this first half, I'll show how to chop it. And they're essentially the same prep. The chop is just a little bit bigger than the dice. So what you want to do is take your knife and go towards the root side and make nice long slices. And since we're chopping it, we want those slices to be pretty wide. And you don't want to cut all the way to the end of the root because you want that to stay intact, hopefully. But sometimes you'll cut it and it's not the end of the world. And then these slices perpendicular, you also want to make these quite large. So then if you're making a soup, you're gonna get a nice bite of onion in that soup. So that would be considered a chop. And then lastly, for the dice, we'll do a similar cut, but these cuts are gonna be a lot thinner than the chop. The thinner the slices, the smaller the dice. And as you get towards the end, you do want to aim your knife towards the middle of the onion, and that'll make for more even pieces. And then as we're cutting it perpendicular, you want to make these slices a little smaller as well. As you can see, the dice is a lot smaller than that chop. And those are the three main ways to cut an onion. Thanks for joining us as we learned about the benefits of consuming onions and how best to prep them. And thank you, Olivia, for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm kind of struggling with the onions. Do you have any tips on if it makes it so you don't cry or anything like that?
Well, I wear contacts and I've never had to deal with that problem, but have you heard anything?
I've actually heard that if you keep the root on, so this part right here, that it helps, but obviously we have all this going on right now.
Yeah. Well, maybe at home you can try that and see if it works for you.